We're in the process of recruiting as many One Piece fans as humanly possible to the Patreon to keep this channel alive. It's really important to sign up if you can, and if you love the channel and want to see it continue, link down below. Hopefully I'll see you on there real soon, and thanks so much for watching. They gave us another episode, likely because it's filler that has no recap, so here's your win. Said it in the last video, but one of my favourite things is when there's downtime like this and they're just chilling together as a crew. Love that, Dizzle! Their collective reaction to the new levels of boredom that Luffy has reached, that he's actually asking about a book. Also though, I feel like this may be a regular win, but the fact that Robin is still in the anime equals a win. I like stuff like this. Nami did something similar in another episode on Little Garden, bringing lore into it like this. I just like the idea that someone wrote a book and they talk about it. Not running on the Nami and Chopper master the ship. Don't get me wrong, I really like Danmachi, but covering Season 3's first half before this video, you notice a lot of CGI characters wandering around. Blows me away that One Piece did everything by hand. I do like how she can say no without it sounding bad to him. Like, she sounded so happy when she said it. In the same way as when number 4097 worked, that being the lore in regards to the book before, I like how these filler episodes really add lore to the islands, give so much life to it. Too long to show, but Luffy asks, why does it take them an entire year to make fireworks? She replies with this, and I just really liked it, because she's never done that before. Speaking of Danmachi, barely ever any not walking on the spots there too. Plenty here. Weird win, but he voiced, I think his name was Voss from the original Berserk. He was an absolutely horrible cretin and did such a great job. He tried to have Griffin killed twice. But also, this is why I love this series, because it allows me to say that sadly the voice actor passed away in 2018, aged 88. A good solid age, but still sad. Take another win in his honour. The amazing Ren from the Trails games. For those who can't remember, she's the girl with the scythe. No spoilers though. As always, even over 130 episodes in, the animation team still animating things they really didn't have to. I thought this may be the case, and yet still it came as a good and genuine shock, and thus I like it even more, because the guy in town didn't spew exposition, and instead we found out organically now. There's truly something about One Piece where the animators were able to capture the essence of a town or village and make it feel more real to me, if that makes sense. Even adding weather here helped that for me. How she throws the bomb into his mouth to quickly stop him from reacting to her plan had me laughing. First nose person view. That was brilliant. So unexpected to copy her tone like that. That really got me. Oh my god, I love this anime so much. Like, that was so beautifully included that she tries to wipe his face, he pulls away and she says, just let me do it, all while having the conversation. I do appreciate the realism that a bunch of adults naturally went to her grandfather to tell him about her plan, especially when they know what happened to her parents a year ago. Not running on the upset about the fireworks spot. He says funky, but I use the word unique, and it hit me that this island, so far away from anything else, has its own unique way of doing gravestones, and that's awesome.
これだけだと思うかい？私たちの夢はお前さ。お前が立派に花火師を継ぐことだって。
Usopp just being insanely sweet to this young girl right here, bless him. Getting to see some lovely moments from her childhood with her parents was such a nicely added touch to the episode.
ありがとう。分かってくれて。
Goodness me, that whole thing was so lovely.
では約束だ。
Yeah, go on. Take one more for that too.
ウソップエンジェルだ。
In a weird way, it's nice to know that she kind of knew it was him speaking, but still really appreciated his message and his words. It's another new video, so of course one for everyone looking different as always. That's so insanely clever that Usopp figured out what the tower was built for 400 years ago, for this exact purpose of setting off these giant fireworks. Man, he's so awesome. Take one split for the fireworks themselves and how they were done back then, and also for them as a crew getting to enjoy them. Really sweet that we're shown this view too, so it's almost like the parents got to witness it as well. Is Sanji wearing a panda mask? Getting to see the giant one getting set off after Usopp's little baby one caught people's attention just beforehand. Seeing everyone and the crew's reactions to the giant one going off was worth one too. Easily one for this moment, thanking them for being talented enough to make that huge firework. Very sweet moment.
じいさん、早くもらってもいいかな？
バカ野郎、好きなだけ持ってき。
Very nice ending as well. I thought he'd still say no, but instead he's clearly thankful to Usopp for what he did, and so says this, and that's a much better ending. Few wins here. Firstly, I like how this filler arc is focused on one crew member each time, largely anyway. But also going without recap naturally gets them that win. Thirdly, all of these buildings looking so different to anything we've seen before.
あそこにいる男、500万ベリーの賞金首だ。
500万。ここは一つ。
What a lovely and unexpected treat to see these two again from the restaurant arc and Arlong arc. That's so awesome! Not walking on the Zoro in the pub spot.
金は
今はない。
Easy win for this pair of unique looking shots, his sword super close to the screen, and then this blocking attack. Dude, another unique looking shot! Check that out as he flies knocked back in the background.
ミホークっていや、あの七部会の？
俺はそいつを倒して世界一の剣豪になることを目指して旅をしている。
Pretty cool to know that Zoro has had this life goal since way before he even met Luffy, which makes his story very realistic. In fact, all of theirs realistic. They all have lives and goals.
のことは知らなかった。すまねえな。その首、海軍に届けろ。賞金はお前たちのもんだ。
It's no wonder they liked him so much when they first met him after an introduction like this. Zoro has just always been an awesome guy ever since the start.
ただし、ここはおごってもらうぜ。
I like this and I'm giving it a win because it's exactly what I pictured him doing in my head. So smart. Not only do we get a solid look at the buildings from a bird's eye view at the start, but then we get to see them close up like this, and it looks like an old western town or something. Art style changes as he recalls moments from his troubled childhood, animating multiple characters moving within one scene. Tesgera from Hunter x Hunter. He's the one who worked alongside Gon and Killua in the game to get all the cards to beat his father's game. He was in charge of the whole plan for a while. Also, though, sadly, the voice actor also passed away at just 57 years of age in 2022, so as always, please take a win in his honour. Such a shame to go so young. Pretty good notion that it's a kid of all people who ends up standing up for what's right from the whole town.
そうじゃねえ。あいつは。あの日の俺だ。
I like that in my fillers, giving us some proper backstory for him and how he relates to what he's seeing in front of him now, and how it reminds him of himself as a kid.
純粋だった頃の俺だ。
Was gonna include this as part of the last win, but no, he can have his own for that.
ジョニー、お前、わかった。
These are good lads. He wants to back Johnny up here in spite of the risks, so he can step up when it counts and be the man he wanted to be back when he was a kid. Zoro really was just living his own life before Johnny and the Straw Hats, wasn't he?
紙の刀だったらあの折れちまったあんたの2本の刀と同じ運命だったぜ。
It's one of the first times prior to the main story that we learn how important this sword is to him, but also how strong it is, just like his new ones. It's probably been over 100 episodes now, so I personally enjoyed the refresher to his story, although it's burned into my memory.
ああ、刀が何本あっても足りゃしねえぞ。
くそ、またやっちまって。すまねえ。この借りは必ず返す。
I like this as it feels as though it maybe links into his newfound abilities, and it shows that that is what he's been striving for all this time. You know, from his huge battle recently versus Mr. One. Small win, but showing us events from Zoro's end, because he heard 2 explosions in the distance, that was the warehouses from before, and now again as they're fighting. Take a win for the clear amount of effort that went into this fight, even though the budget was likely tight with it being a filler episode and all.
まったくしつけえ奴らだ。
Big props to these lads as well. They weren't just knocked about and then waiting for Zoro to save them. They kept getting up time after time after time, and I much prefer that.
さて、じゃあ引き上げるとするが、こんな腰抜けどもに構っていてもしょうがねえ。長生きできねえ奴らだな。鼻からそんなことは分かってる。
Speaking of props, the story setters for this episode get one for deciding to not make him a typical villain. Instead, he's unique in that he doesn't want to fight them, tries not to a few times. Credit to this kid once again, still wanting to wade into the fray to help these guys.
考えろ。自分の力なら何ができるかを。
Zoro's sounding so damn awesome saying this, very poetic and likely something he's kept in mind himself since he was younger.
もういいんじゃねえのか。とっくに勝負は決まってる。
Zoro came at that attack with such power that was the result. Goodness me. Look at that. All hand done. It's so rare nowadays. You might get one animated, zoomed in shot to avoid showing others, or it'd be CGI in the background there.
あいつは
I have no clue why he wears this, but he looks so awesome when he does it.
3本の刀、まさか海賊狩りのロロロアゾロ。
Their reaction to seeing him with 3 swords and knowing who he was, that was actually really sick.
どんな刀だろうと、その実力を 100% 引き出せるようにならねえと。
They keep on doing callbacks to his newfound ability to use his swords properly, and I absolutely love it. How they did that doesn't cost the earth on your budget, doesn't take a week to do, but it does look amazing, and like it does.
言ったはずだ。俺の横に立つんじゃない。
I strongly imagine that this is going to be addressed very soon in the next canon arc or two, so I'm glad this feeling was carried over from the last canon arc still. Also though, bless her heart, she just wanted to cover him up so he doesn't get a cold. So damn sweet.
しまった火が
That epic transition though, did the same earlier with his cannon, but instead it was theirs on the ship. Also, this kid clearly having taken the advice of Zoro. He doesn't try to physically attack, instead he uses his head like here. Also though, that equally epic attack.
よし、折れてね。
Seeing the very moment these two decided to start following Zoro for a while and referring to him as Big Bro or Aniki.
勝手にしろ。
And then they go ahead and do it here. I really liked this filler episode. My favourite from the filler arc. Chopper here protecting himself in a super clever but mainly cute way.
うるさいんだよバカ野郎一度言えばわかる
Igurum from the last saga. I so didn't expect that to happen all of a sudden. So harsh as well against his own ship. Like I said in I think the last part, good to see some more of Usopp lying as it's been a while. Oh yes, of course, no recap either due to it being the start of another filler arc. By the by, this was also voted in by patrons. Pledge today for a vote and keep the channel afloat at the same time.
海軍は
うまく巻いたみたい。
My newest waifu, following classic One Piece suit by changing her clothing like everyone else does.
ルフィ気をつけてよ。この辺波間にかなり隠れ岩があるみたいだから。
Nice of her to think about him and also warn about the specific dangers of falling into this water.
の
Painfully adorable.
港はもとよりたとえ岩場でも船を係留するなら入港税を払ってもらおう
入港税
Also talking about buildings looking totally different, or the islands, but this dude's clothing should absolutely be mentioned here as a win for looking so different.
これは義務だからだ払うのか払わないのか
Such a tense standoff solved by Luffy running over both of them. That was so good.
新手のお笑い芸人
She is so adorable, but in a totally different way to Chopper.
ちょっと待てよおい質問しといてその態度なんだ
話を聞かせてもらえるかしら
Robin proving herself to be quite like Nami in that she doesn't react so quickly and is more interested in listening. She really is growing on me, what you'd expect from a waifu naturally. Now that I've mentioned it though, the buildings do look totally different to anything else, kind of like a Greek city on the coast or something here. Few wins here. First up, it's another instance of a book existing but with some real purpose in this world, expanding the whole lore a little bit.
この本によると虹色の霧は神々の住む庭とかエルドラド
But secondly, they're clearly mixing in some real life details there, and I do like that. Lastly, take a win for how they keep me feeling like we're off on yet another grand adventure. It's the reason I like the movies too.
あのレインボータワーもあなたの研究をもとに建築されているのだ
This scene serves to inform us quite a bit about this island and what the current issues are.
大盛りを食べている人は大盛り税を払わないといけません
こいつの檻だから
俺かよ
Classic Luffy being Luffy there.
変ぞとつるむのはよせ
でもそれを決めるのは私じゃないわ船長よ
Felt like it was worth the win for the first time. She kind of cedes authority to Luffy as captain, whilst likely knowing that he isn't the sort to stay away from the guy because they say so. I do always like how much shopping they do when on land. Plus, if she's buying clothing, it makes perfect sense why she's always shown in different clothing, and I for one love it.
港で税金を納めなかったって不届き者は
What is this guy, Krieg?
無駄だ俺様の体に触れたものは皆そうなる
Endeavour from My Hero Academia out here doing so many voices, but to his credit, this one caught me off guard. He really altered his normal tone for this. Chopper thought it was a devil fruit ability, and turns out it's just this. It's the little things I appreciate, like them reacting to the static from all the electricity in the air. So good!
はいご心配には及びません
心配なのはそっち
あこれ
悪魔だ
I legit think I'm becoming obsessed with One Piece. Even little reactions like this I end up loving. So very much extra animation! So good, I gotta show it first. I mean, someone worked on that. An entire large crowd, everyone looking different, not a whiff of CGI anywhere. This was the golden age for this sort of thing, I swear. As always, you give me a totally new and unique looking boat and I'll give you a win. I don't think I'll ever tire of seeing Luffy react like this to stuff. I'm so impressed that so much animation was put into such a short fight scene. This? That was actually a genius tactic from Sanji right there. I like how he figured when attack doesn't work and I can't defend, run away, and it worked. Oh snap! Are you giving us a mystery this arc? If so, heck yes! I do not mind that one bit. Let's go! This arc just went from filler arc about dealing with a greedy tax goblin to like time travel, invisibility something or other, and I'm here for it. At the same time as the last win, it's interesting how the crew has now also been split, potentially with them dealing with events on the islands, but either way, I'm hooked. This filler arc just getting better and better right now. That zoom out shot too though. That ending had to get one as well, with Luffy being like that. In fact, the way the voice actress does that is insane to me. Sounds so funny. All credit to her. Damage effect animator's out in force already. Putting what looks like actual writing into this book rather than just scribbles. If true, what an awesome guy. To have spent like 50 years trying to find a way to save your friends from whatever this is. Guy shoots up in my estimations big time. Half the win is because Zoro slept through all of this, and the other half is because this suddenly come out of nowhere. Also though, I like seeing Luffy get serious as soon as his friend may have gotten hurt. I think out of everyone on the crew, I gotta give best reaction in the anime to Usopp, at least for now, and the voice actor does give a huge helping hand to that award. How come she's just the best though? How they did that falling shot there? That! Luffy's return to the ship and how utterly casual it was, whilst also avoiding injuring the girl who pointed the sword at them. How they haven't just poured exposition over the whole scene and instead just lightly touched on this time and again, showing that he does know them, somehow, without revealing it yet. Goodness me, this filler is turning out to be something else. It takes all of this happening to finally wake up a very sleepy Zoro. So good! Now getting to see them as kids and the old man as a kid, if you know what I mean. This whole scene of them as kids hanging around together really touched my heart, especially knowing the nightmare they're going through right now compared to this easy life. I love this kind of base building. Reminds me of the stuff we did as kids, but 1,000 times cooler than ours. unexpected plot twist!
行くんだ
Two wins. Firstly, it's naturally a long distance, not running on the spot, that goes on for a few seconds and is thus awesome. Secondly, though, he proves why he was the leader back then and still is now, issuing orders with confidence to save his friends' lives here, and in the process growing on me a lot. Going first person for this attack like it's no big deal.
あれだあれに乗るんだあれね他にないだろ急げ
See what I mean? As soon as he sees that the ships are all destroyed, he launches into action with a new plan. First of all, the whole escape by the kids was fantastic, how they worked together to quickly enact their plan. Secondly, it was an age-old win of a villain's plan not going as he, well, planned. Like, he royally screwed up here. But also, plot twist! Didn't expect that! These lads are absolutely freaking legit! Those brilliant damage effect animations! I just knew that was going to be good when I saw the setup! Half the win is the running towards us animation looking so damn smooth, the other half is him leaping into action to help his buddy right away without any hesitation. But secondly, am I going crazy, or could this not potentially be the Marine from before who flicked the coin? How the hell? What's going on? Now it makes perfect sense how Henzo ended up back at the town. It's all coming together, baby. But also, he deserves props for finding action in himself when the moment really mattered, bless him. I nearly lost it with that baby. Oh no, that nearly brings a tear to my eye. And that poor lad has spent his entire life trying to find a way to reunite with them. Wow.
何おいおっさん早く戻ろうだから帰り方がわかんねえんだよ
Luffy finding out that they may be stuck here now, that he's actually listening, and how Usopp gets annoyed at having to explain why it's a problem for them. Take another one for their convo in the background still, Usopp saying, we've said it 3 times now, and Luffy reply, oh, that many times? I may be right, so he's here, but his kid self is in the past, in the mist, so I'm confused. Take the win. So good how they do that zoom out shot. A lot of animation work went into getting that quality from a distance. Nami's reaction to there being treasure in the mist.
この俺のことは市長と呼べとな。ウェットン市長と。
And this is clearly that pirate from back then. It's all coming together, and I love how it's been laid out. Very clever. Also though, Gillian Osborne from the Trails games.
お前はダメだだってお前は大人じゃないか
I mean, that was incredible how that was done. Not only visually, but also because it shows how it has affected him through all the years. Poor guy.
無駄ではないでしょ古い友人にこうして再会できたのだから
そうかな。
She's actually really quite lovely in moments like this. It begins to tell me about her personality. Even if it is filler, I'm sure it follows the manga. She's very kind here. Also though, surprisingly no recap this episode. Let's do it!
セイスクルール
An excellent way to show how they're trapped in there and what it looks like. So damn good. But also how amazing she looked using her awesome ability there too.
本に書いてあったのを思い出したの虹色の霧の中は迷宮のように入り組んでいて
What I also like about her is how calm she is being here. She's a lot like a female version of Zoro in this regard. Have a win for Robin already understanding how important the hat is and catching it when it fell to the ground just now.
でもあいつらどこにいるんだよ
聞いてみましょうそこにいる人
See how awesome she is? I know you know, but now I know too. She's like Zoro in this regard too. Spotted the boy from nowhere.
アンフルール案内してくれる
This is an emergency. I'm not sure I'll ever get bored of giving her wins for her insanely awesome ability.
ありえねえヘンゾが年寄りになって戻ってきただと
The story just gets better by putting into the mix that this guy is still around and that they've captured him.
ヘンゾの言うことが本当だとしたらルルカの町はどうなっちゃってるんだろう。父さん母さん
The realism behind showing us these lingering feelings from the boy. Super glad they addressed it at least once, that someone has people on the outside waiting for him. Maybe. Showing us several moments from their time here and how they were originally under this Ian guy and how he mistreated them and the tough times they had initially. It's totally not in this lad's DNA to not be a badass, especially when helping his friends.
みんな外へ逃げろ
I like this lad a lot, and very likely the older Marine. He just doesn't hesitate and immediately starts to issue orders to ensure that they get through this nightmare in one piece. It's so clever that this is what caused so much confusion eventually on the outside, and it was all his plan to lure this creature away from them. What an episode this has been!
私たちのリーダーはラパヌイ一人よ。あなたに従う子なんて誰もいないわ。
This girl gets a win too, showing utter loyalty to her friend and new leader, returning that same loyalty he's shown all of them since entering this place, heck, since entering their lives.
どうしたの？
Two wins, firstly a very quick but lovely done not running on the spot. Secondly, I was impressed by how well set up they are out here, including lookouts on duty, a warning system and other things. I love Luffy in a reasonable amount.
僕も使うわ何言ってんだおめえ
I tell ya, I adore this lad. He's bloody awesome. Always willing to throw himself into the fray, and the studio did such a great job of making it clear how much he cares for his friends.
俺の船はあの霧の中へと消えた。そしてその船が戻ってきたということは、エイプスコンサートへの扉が開かれたということ。
Take a win for making it pretty clear to me at this point of what exactly this mist is and how it works. It's also so important because obviously it hasn't appeared for 50 years.
つまりあの中に眠ってるお宝を手に入れるのは今しかないってことね
I love giving a win when I say something and then they, in the anime, say it good or better, which Nami does here. It's now or never, and oddly enough, feeling tension now due to the clock ticking.
ダジャレかよ。
っていうか高すぎよ
っていうかそんな税金ありかよ
This hilarious series of reactions to his I found out the secret tax, but you know the drill, most of all Choppers.
あれがレインボータワーだ。てめえたちは死ぬまであの塔で働き続けることになる。
I think Toei's staff made a real good choice when they split the crew here rather than have everyone in the mist or everyone dealing with the tax goblin.
今こそエイプスコンサートのお宝を手に入れるチャンスですぞ。
あいつ全部喋ったぞ。
Chopper is just the best for moments like this. So glad the comedy continues to be of the highest quality in this new saga.
衝撃が悪いな。
Zoro proves his insane speed, strength and ability by knocking away his blade in a fraction of a second and looking like he didn't even really do it.
知ってどうするどうせナンパ船の財宝をありったけ持ち逃げするつもりだろ
I think when watching this, it's important to keep in mind that right now the kids don't really feel trapped because it's been such a short period of time. Hasn't been years for them at all.
飯わあお前らも食うか
Such great realism that with Sanji currently out their picture, as it were, Usopp took it upon himself to make food for everyone rather than having it never be addressed or whatever.
あっちにも食べたそうな子がいるみたいね
This is the side to Robin I'm really starting to adore, that she'd point out that there's kids over there on the ship who look like they'd like some of the food.
あお前たちも来いやこれうまいぞいいのやった
Take one here as well for the kids being able to be kids again for a minute, obviously showing a really happy side that they haven't been able to show with all of the recent pressure on them.
食い物に釣られるなハッピー海賊団の誇りを忘れたか
Also though, even with it not being needed, it's good to see him stay on guard the longest as their leader. Wouldn't fit his character if he hopped right in eating from the get-go. Just like the crowds I always win, I find myself appreciating visuals like this too. Really nice to see everyone sitting together as a group here, eating and drinking and sharing tales. It's very sweet. Very sad to see him break down like this and say that he's so ashamed to have taken so long to get back there and now doesn't know how to get back out.
どんなに時間が経とうが、どんなに姿が変わろうが、同じ旗の下に集った仲間なら分かり合えるはずだろ!
Usopp can seriously sometimes come out with such poetic and powerful words and statements like here. It got me inspired, I can't lie.
おお、マジか。はいはい、今出ますよ。え？
はいもしもし
いや、お前が出てどうすんだよ!
I've been winning these moments since the end of the Arlong arc between Zoro and Luffy, so it made me really happy to see another instance where Zoro points out something obvious to Luffy.
あんたたちが勝手に船乗って行っちゃうからこっちは大迷惑してんのよナミか
It's a somewhat small thing, but it was awesome to my mind to find out that they can communicate through the mist in spite of the time delay and everything else.
その名前で呼ぶなこの裏切り者
もしもしもしもーし
Tension being created in the arc in a very natural way, because of course this kid's going to be very sus of him for working alongside the pirate who caused this whole mess in the past. One of the very longest not running on the spots in ages. I literally don't know how they do this, but it looks great. Genuinely massive unexpected plot twist, but at the same time, the boot got out of the mist, the snake, things have gotten out of the mist, that means there is a way.
俺たちにしてみればついこの間の話だ
They're having a serious conversation and all I can do is laugh at that bloody brilliant moment. Luffy passes by making that sound as he does so.
ウェットンの犬だなんだとのみんなから後ろ指刺されてそれでも我慢してジイロの霧の研究を続けてきたんだぞ
Usopp bringing up a great point here that I must admit I kind of forgot about. Now I'm glad we got the whole scene from the restaurant before.
殴ってくれさあ
Things like this really get to me. It's so well done, it's on the same level of Koza's father and Yuba, I think. It's that he's old and yet still worked day in, day out to find a way to reach them. Also, take another, because that music, it hits my heart. One Piece truly does have some of the greatest music, and as an aside, I'm near obsessed with numerous ED songs. I play them all the time now.
ちくしょうどうして50年も経っちまったんだ
In spite of what he says, you know his tears are also for seeing his friend, who he knows is his real friend as an old man now, and I think he's starting to let his guard down a bit. Take one more there too, because you know Usopp is hit harder by this kind of thing, dating back to the Usopp Pirates and how much those kids meant to him.
ラパヌイ
Definitely mostly because the old friends made up, but I also can't ignore Luffy still messing around, and this time it was a very quick passing sorry.
ここはどこだ
So good that the studio didn't settle for the already great filler arc idea that they had, and even expanded upon it here with this little mystery all of a sudden.
そうだお嬢さん安全装置を使いなさい
安全装置
At least this guy and his kid are nowhere near as bad as the older former pirate father/grandfather, which also makes this better and way less like the typical kind of villains you get in other anime. This dude in the shadows just solving problems, and it's clearly the kid from the mist. I'm positive of that now, and he saved my Nami. Chopper not knowing exactly what she wants him to do right here, and it hitting the dude in the back. God, I love stuff like this in One Piece so much. What is this, creep number 2?
本当かみんなの ところへ戻る方法知ってるのか？いや、知らねえ。
Been winning it forever, but Luffy and his carefree personality is one of my favorite things about him.
謝って済む問題か。せっかくヘンゾと再会できたのに握手もできなかったじゃないか。
Says a lot about him that this is what he regrets the most, is that he wasn't able to shake his friend's hand, like officially make up with him.
俺も父さんみたいにこの霧の中で死ぬんだ。父さん？
Not only expanding upon the story, but diving a little into his background and childhood at the same time.
父さん！父さん！船の中を必死に探したけど、父さんの姿はどこにもなかった。
Ah, this music! Right away! Ah! Plus mixing with the notion that he thought his dad was safely at sea, and it turns out he was stuck inside this mist too. Man, oh man, this anime.
おい、どこへ行く？
言っただろ、みんなのところさ。動かずにいたらみんなのところへは戻れねえだろ。
I dare say that after hearing this, Luffy decided to take things seriously and get this kid back to his friends. He's been through so much.
どうだそっちは。
ダメだ、どこにも見当たらねえよ。
Showing us that they split up to search for them, a totally classic thing for this crew to do for one another.
これは200年前のガレオン船。こっちは見たこともない船だわ。
So awesome to have a crew member along who can tell things like this because of their interests and her job. She loves history just like I do.
なんだ、ナミが。
なんだとは何よ。
Nami has arrived inside the mist.
いや。
なんだあいつ。
Picking a really decent moment to throw a wrench into the mix by having him be let out by the kid and disrupt their attempt to leave, or Nami's attempt anyway.
あいつがどうなってもいいのか？
いいわよ。
何？
Nami being really harsh here. But I'm not sure if she's bluffing or not to take away his blackmail attempt, but it still made me chuckle, I can't lie. Robin proving she is an absolutely fantastic addition to the crew with her quick thinking here. Like, this is such a great ability for Oda to have thought up, I swear.
おい、どうした？
カイロウサケ。
Like I said when it was brought up, when Crocodile had locked away Luffy and crew, I like the idea of these things that can negate Devil Fruit abilities.
ダメだ。このままじゃ逃げ切れない。
These two legends refusing to leave the rope in case Nami needed to come right back, even though he's doing this to them.
まだだ。約束だ。ナミが戻ってくるまでロープには指一本触れさせないって。
俺たちは彼女が戻ってくる場所を死守するだけさ。
See what I'm saying? He then does the same thing here, bless him, in spite of being electrocuted. Only Sanji would still smoke in this situation. Getting to see the whole town from a distance for the first time this arc.
ご無沙汰しております。ヤンであります。ウェットン船長におかれましては、ますますご健勝のご様子で。
What an awesome thing to include, that because he looks like his grandfather did 50 years ago, he salutes the wrong guy.
宝があったって外に出られないんじゃ全然意味ないわ。
お前航海士だろ、なんとかしろ。
お手上げよ。
As far as setting the scene goes, this looks so good, with them all having their own place and doing their own thing, rather than them simply sitting at a table talking or something. Without even saying anything, we know they've been going a long time, because for Luffy to get tired, that must be the case.
ここには俺たちしかいない。好きな時に寝て好きな時に遊べる。俺たちの楽園、自由の国、永遠の国。
Getting to see more of their past in this mist, but at the same time seeing how he led everyone and cheered them up when they first understood they couldn't leave, making it a positive.
帰りてえ。俺たちの町に、ルルカの町に帰りてえ。
Easy follow-up win for him then going on to say the same thing himself. He really was trying to make them feel better.
あの光は。おい、まさかあれ出口か。
Slowly, bit by bit, discovering more about this place and how it works like here. Oh, hell yes, here we go! Exactly what I meant from the last one. The two worlds are now colliding, and the mystery is slowly getting solved. Let's go! I'm not joking. This is so clever as a side story within One Piece to come up with this, and now they're travelling through a tunnel to get there, but they can get back. I love it. I mean it. Darth Weirdo, Mal Liao, Nick Wyndham, The Elementator Wars, Christopher Willis, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Fancy Turtle, Kepan, Mini Masher, Marquez, Nazomi, Orekeeper, Otter A. Bodanisi, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Brandon Creer, Brian Bayot, Cameron, Christian Tuasa, Commander Chris, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Aaron Winters, Guru, I Am Here, James Tafoya, Your Edvinson, Kevin Alston, Cumfroik, Kylie Welp, Lisa Marie Timp, Luis Minito, Magnus, Mr. Mansu, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Ruby Rose, Satakayari, Zion 44, Sean, The 100s, Tiger Lily Warrior, Sumi Bito, Ajoka, Alexander Schwartz, Ali 50, Amadillo, Brainless Ben, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Dante Soul, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Def the Kid 123, Devon, Dragon Defender, Esso, Garrett Vermish, Gibbs, Hove to Lowe's Ritter, Israel Caldera, Jason Davies, John, Juffa 6263, Kelnock, Kevin Nelter, Kevink 102, Knuckle Duster, Kai 158, Kyle Jones, Laxor, Laxus, Liam Gagati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Marvin, Matthew Blansett, Michael Lewis, Modiverum, Monty, Mudini, Mr. Firecool, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, 9028, Ollie the Mighty, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Oscar I. Lopez, Owen Halloran, Q Flash, Ryan DeVries, Sarcastic Truth, Snow, Stan, Storm 970, TRS, The Danish Muggle, Thrasher 340, Vernon Hogan, Will Sass, Willy Man,